Welcome to the Hunger Action Heroes podcast. Hunger Action Heroes is a production of the Food Bank of the Golden Crescent. The Food Bank of the Golden Crescent was established in 1986 as the Community Food Bank in Victoria, Texas. Our mission is helping heal the hurt of hunger in our 11-county service area: Calhoun, Colorado, DeWitt, Goliad, Gonzales, Jackson, Lavaca, Matagorda, Refugio, Victoria, and Wharton. We passionately advocate for a hunger-free Texas. Your host, Chris Doelle, will bring you a message from our sponsor and get right into the episode. Stick around.
The Hunger Action Heroes podcast by the Food Bank of the Golden Crescent is made possible by the generous support of the HEB Hunger Relief Program. HEB Hunger Relief works year-round to fight hunger in Texas and Mexico. Hunger relief has been a key focus for HEB since the first store opened back in 1905. For more than a century now, HEB's commitment and involvement in the communities it serves has been an important part of the way the company does business. Since the inception of the Hunger Relief Program, HEB has donated over 1 billion pounds of food to help nourish neighbors in communities throughout Texas and Mexico. Thank you to the HEB Hunger Relief Program. All right, everybody join me in welcoming Marcus Torres to the show. Marcus, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
You bet, you bet. So I want to talk about the Austwell-Tivoli Food Pantry, but first, I like to back up. Where did you grow up?
Oh, well, I grew up in the Austwell-Tivoli area.
Okay.
Been here all my life.
Nice, nice. Went to school there, lived there, stayed there, didn't go anywhere else?
No, didn't go anywhere else.
I
Just
love it. So how,
same little neighborhood I've been in.
really? So how did you get involved with the food pantry?
Well, it was by accident, I guess. I had medical issues back then. I had a transplant surgery or whatever for a kidney. And I wasn't allowed to work anymore. So I got bored at home. So they needed help over there. So I ended up going over there to help out.
Yeah.
And I was just a runner then, or gopher, if you might say, you know. And then short time later, it was, I don't know. I don't even know how it actually happened. I ended up being the line guy where we set everything up for getting things ready for distribution. And then short time after that, I ended up being vice president.
Huh.
So that was like within a period of 4 months, 5 months, maybe.
Oh, that seems to happen a lot of times.
Yeah.
Anytime you're dealing with a nonprofit, you start out volunteering. Next thing you know, you're running the thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm also assistant chief with the volunteer fire department for Tivoli also. So I guess that had a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah. So you have some strong community ties.
Yeah, I got that. And I guess leadership skills.
Yep. So what
Yeah.
what have you seen in terms of changes with the pantry from the time you started till now?
Well, as far as ours is concerned, there was a lot of mayhem going on as far as, trying to set things up and, how stuff was being bought and or acquired, I guess. We got to the point where we didn't even know what our budget was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I set that up. We got a budget now, and everything seems to be working fine. We used to do an all-day pantry. Now it's down to from 8 till 12:30. I do go back at 5 and help the ones that don't get there on time. That's like a secondary distribution, I guess, because not everybody. Some of our folks are elderly and they can't make it on time because they have to go to doctor visits or for whatever reason,
Sure.
So I give them that extra opportunity to kind of come and get their supplies.
So
go ahead.
I'll just say, so the big thing you noticed was it just wasn't being run as efficient as it could be, and now you sort of streamlined it.
Yeah, it got to the point. I mean, they were like, well, it was mayhem. That's all I can say. So we just kind of streamlined it a little bit to where, we didn't have to spend so much time out there, but yet everybody got served.
Yes.
And it seems to be working pretty good. like I said, we get there at 8 o'clock. Truck gets there at 8. We put the stuff in the boxes that we have, and we actually switched 2 boxes. And COVID kind of helped a little bit with that, since we couldn't be able to, be face to face and stuff with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I can run probably 60 to 75 people through the line in about an hour.
Wow.
So that helps out pretty quick too.
So you streamline. That was number one, was figuring out how to streamline. What did you actually do that makes it flow easier?
Well, when I first got in there, it was like, okay, the truck showed up and they unloaded everything from the truck, and then they would put it in our little barn that we have. Well, the ladies would get there and they would take everything out of the barn from last month, bring it into the church, and distribute everything around, and then take it back outside and then give it to the people, and then put everything back in the barn. And then whatever was left went back into the barn as well. And I was like, that's just way too many steps,
Yeah.
So now the truck gets there, and we do everything outside, unless it's raining or whatever, then we just kind of cancel and wait for another day or whatever. But the majority of the time, the truck gets there, we distribute it out into the boxes. We went with boxes because bags, if they got wet or something like that, then they would rip. You put a lot of stuff in there, and then of course some of these elderly people can't pick it up. So we went with boxes. It has handles. There's a cost for that as well, but it's a lot easier. And then if we have any extra left over, then we can stack them for whenever we need to get one out or whatever. They're easier to stack in bags. Like I said, we could, before when we started, it was like an all day deal. And like I said, the truck could get there at 8:30, have everything packaged into our boxes or whatever. We do a 30-minute break now for lunch, usually about 10:30, and at 11 o'clock we start our distribution, and then by 12:30, somewhere around in there, it's break down and let's go to the house, because we already service most of the people, other than ones that they couldn't make it at that time. So like I said, I come back at 5 o'clock, and then it'll be like 5 or 6 people that need to come get their foods. But I think that's some of the problems that some of these other areas are having, is how to distribute the stuff and how to get it to the people. And I know some areas do like 4 times a month. We only do it once a month, and it's the third Tuesday of the month. But like I said, I've had people come and ask me about, well, how do you do that? How do you get people in and out so fast? Well, that's how we do it. You just have a goal and how you want to get it done. The guys or the families that come through the line, they don't even get out of the car. They just open the trunk, boom, throw everything back, and you're done.
Yeah.
So, you can service a person in 10 seconds.
Wow.
They just pull up. So I have a lady that's up in the front. She takes down all the information, who they are, we check them off to show that they were there, and then they come down to another stopping point. And then from there, they open their trunks. We put everything in there. I stand there and make sure that the car doesn't leave until we shut the door. And then if there's any special information or whatever, then it's at that time that I give it to them and let them know about, so like for sign up, stuff like that. We do a once a year sign up, which will be tomorrow on Tuesday. It's a week before the pantry. And we get everybody signed up at one time. When I first started, it was just like, are they signed up? Are they not signed up? Or, how did that work? Well, we don't know. He's not signed up, but they're only good for a year. So it was just like everybody was signed up throughout the whole year. So, well, we're not doing that. It's going to be one month a year, and they're going to come in, sign up, and then when they come through the line next time, we already know.
Yeah.
So we cut all that out. So that kind of helped out a lot too. So those that came in afterwards, are like, we have a family move in and needs assistance. Well, then they can sign up. When it comes back in June again, they got to come back and sign it one more time.
Yeah.
So it kind of streamed out a little bit at that time, and like Francis, and I've had Kathy Mayo. She's been down there too before and looked at it, and they're kind of like, impressed, I guess. I had other agencies show up over there as well and said, "Man, y'all are like a time clock over here."
Well,
I said,
yeah,
"Well, it's
that
not
was what I
that
was going to
hard to
ask.
put it together."
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you is if another pantry or organization wanted some assistance with that, or if somebody needed to find out how to get on the list or whatever, how can they reach out to you?
Oh, they can just call me. Like I said, we have a Facebook page, which is Austwell-Tivoli Food Pantry,
Mhm.
or they can just get a hold of me or through my cell phone number. Or they can get a hold of Cindy Myers. She's the pastor of that church, and she's out and about all the time, so she's not hard to get a hold of either. You can call me directly at 361-389-8278. Leave a text message because a lot of spammers out there, so I don't know who it is. A lot of times. So, like I said, if you want to talk to me, you can call me through that and just send me a text first, and that way I'll know who you are and I can call you back.
Love it.
But yeah, as far as setting up a location. Just figuring out how many people you got, how many days you do it a month, and how many volunteers you actually have over there. When I started, we had a whole bunch of volunteers, but nobody knew what to do.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where nobody wanted to show up because of all the stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
But now I've got volunteers, and it's hot. It gets wet or rainy or something like that. But we make it through. We make fun out of it. We're not sitting there, scrapping like cats and dogs or anything. We're all there for a purpose, and we're trying to help out as much as we can.
I love it.
But we don't need to be at each other's throats either. So far it's been working pretty good.
Sweet.
The things that I see now that affects us is the amount of food that we can acquire or purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, we seem to have had quite a bit of resources or items that we could pick through the website on there, but it seems like more and more it's not there. So trouble trying to get the beans, the rice, some meat products, sometimes the breads might be an issue or whatever. Vegetables, fruits, like watermelons, melons, and stuff of that nature. Just whatever the food bank can get is what we're able to receive over there. So, and I know the last few, last 4 or 5 months, I guess it's been kind of hard to purchase stuff without having to go out and get it from somewhere else.
Got it. And what have you seen in terms of demand? Over the time you've been there.
Well, demand. When I got there, it was like 60 people, mm-hmm. families. During COVID, we went up to about 125, maybe 130. Mm-hmm. Kind of went down after that. So our average is about 115, more or less, but we still service about 80.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are on it, but then there's a lot that don't come pick up. Either for some reasons they either have their refrigerators are not too big, or they don't have no place to store it, or whatever. Those are other issues that I'm running into. People want it, but they can't have. They themselves have nowhere to put it. As far as keeping the cold stuff cold, and pantries or whatever they have at their house.
Got it. So what about talk about the relationship with the food bank and the Golden Crescent, and how you've seen that evolve?
Oh, that's those gals over there are amazing. I was there when they were in the old building, and now they went into the new building. Like I said, they got big old freezers and stuff in there, and they're able to acquire a lot of stuff. Frances over there is like gold. She's helped us out a lot, as far as our program, what we need to have, what we don't need to have, getting us grants as when we need it, mm-hmm. Or applying for grants that we didn't even know that we got. Every once in a while she'll call, hey, you just you want a grant, woo, all right. Thank you. So it's stuff like that. I mean, they've done the Golden Crescent Food Bank of Victoria does very well. I mean, they've helped a lot of people.
And what percentage of your food would you say you get from them?
All of it.
All of it?
It's 100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 100%. Now we do have a few locals that do send money to go buy, whatever that we're lacking or whatever.
right.
But the majority of the stuff we get is from the food bank in Victoria.
Yeah. That's one thing a lot of people don't realize is that if you go through the food bank, they could donate $1 to you. You could go to HEB and buy something, but if they donate directly, the food bank can turn that into $8 worth of food or eight
Oh
meals.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
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 definitely.
yeah.
And
Because of the grants.
that's basically how I did mine. I gave my recipients a $10 limit,
Hmm.
and with $10 you can buy a lot of food per person,
Yeah,
and it's quite a bit. Uh, so I normally stay within the $800 range for that, and it's like I said, it's quite a bit of food. I mean, they walk away with a lot of stuff, and they're happy with it.
yeah,
Uh, I know that some food facilities that like ours, they just give stuff away. And I'm not picking on nobody. It's just that when I got in there, I started looking at how some of these other agencies did theirs, and I wasn't doing mine that way.
hmm,
When I send a box out, it's a box that you can utilize for whatever reason. There's more than 2 or 3 meals in that box that you can use. I've heard from other people or that are on the other areas that they'll get a box and there's stuff in there that they can't even use, or don't want or whatever, or for some kind of reason they have a medical, um, like diabetics or something like that, or they can't have that allergy because of things or whatever. But I kind of streamlined mine to that fact to where, they don't just get a box of whatever, the box that we give them is, or the bags, uh, they're able to utilize. They can make whatever's in that box. They can make 2 or 3 meals out of it, without just one meal. So
yes.
that I'm trying to get to that point.
Nice, nice, nice. And where do you see the pantry going and growing from here?
Well, that all depends on economics.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're able to get the resources from the bigger facilities, like Sam's or uh, Walmart or things of that nature, where they give out more food, the government as well, we could actually probably feed more people and with better commodities. Uh, right now, it's just a pick and choose, which you can get, because I know they having problems trying to acquire a lot of this stuff too, and try to get the good stuff that people can actually, use or
Hmm.
for nourishment or whatever. I do see a lot of stuff on there that's probably not kosher, like eyelashes and stuff like that. I mean, that's nothing that none of my people are going to be using. And besides, not everybody may not like the same kind of eyelash. I don't know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I
but
got you.
yeah,
And that doesn't serve the purpose of putting food in
no,
bellies.
no. Especially now where the kids are off of school and this and that. So I kind of gear up a little bit towards the summer months
Uh-huh.
over here to try to make sure that the kids get fed, you know, more often so than they do at school, because they're at school and they get fed over there.
Hmm.
I mean, all in all, we do pretty good. I mean, like I said, what I didn't like back in my day when I first got here was, I would go to the dump and I'd see all these cans sitting over there, and that was my, I hate to throw food away,
Yeah.
and for me to go over there and see these cans laying there, and then after the stuff that you had just given them, uh, it wasn't worth my while to do that, because that's just a waste of money. Not only my money, I mean the pantry's money, but
Yeah.
whoever else donates it, or all the time and effort that everybody goes to give you that one can and you throw it away. I just don't. I can't see that.
Right. Right.
That ticks me off more than anything else.
No
So
doubt.
that's why when I make my meal plan, it's based on what they can use, what they actually like. Because I mean, like I said, I'm in tune with my guys over here, the people, and they kind of tell me, well, I don't like this, or I don't like that, or can you get this, or can you get that? Or, well, if it's on the list, I'll try to get it.
Yeah.
But I try not to order stuff that's not beneficial to them, or something that's going to be thrown away.
Yeah. Talk about the tie-ins that you have, maybe events that you do related to the community, other organizations you work with.
Well, we do have occasionally a bake sale. We got a lot of ladies here that know how to bake very well, so they do that. And like I said, I'm with the Tivoli Fire Department as assistant chief over there, so we utilize them a lot. We have a cone system that we use for traffic control and stuff to keep people in line and do that. So we use that. Every time there's a function of some sort, we usually try to do the bake sales. That usually generates several $100 that we can add toward the benefits and stuff. But other than that, that's about it. I mean, our community is small. It's less than probably 600 people.
Yeah.
In this area alone, so we don't have a whole lot of stores or anybody else that we can really rely on to help us out with stuff like that. I know the bigger cities have, more avenues that they can follow and get donations and stuff from, but ours are just bake sales.
Love it. Well, Marcus Torres, gosh, I want to thank you so much for being a Hunger Action Hero and sharing your story with us.
Well, thank you. Appreciate
you.